Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to do the next video of our geography series. जो हमारी geography series चल रही है उसका next video को आज हम लोग करने वाले हैं. And in the previous video we did about Indian vegetation. Previous video में देखो आपको हम लोगों ने Indian vegetation तक cover कर लिया है. And today we are going to discuss about Indian soils. And this series is going to be very important for you. Most of the basic topics, most of the important topics will be covered in this series, and that can be helpful to you in various examinations including UPSC or state PCS. All the basic geography will be covered here with all the important concepts and facts. And what you should do while watching these videos is to try to make your own notes using these videos. अपने नोट्स को इन वीडियोस को देख के बनाते रहो और बार बार उन नोट्स को रिवाइज करते रहो. कीप रिवाइजिंग दोस नोट्स बिकॉज सो दैट ऑल द कॉन्सेप्ट्स एंड ऑल द फैक्ट्स will get into your mind. So keep revising and keep making notes. Okay, so let's start the Indian soils. So what are soils? So soils constitute the uppermost part of earth's crust. Soils constitute the uppermost part of earth crust. Uppermost part of earth's crust. Okay, containing both organic and inorganic material. Containing both organic and inorganic material. So soils also act as link between lithosphere and atmosphere. Link between lithosphere and atmosphere. These soils also act as medium for growth of plants. Act as medium for growth of plants and plays a critical role in nutrient cycling and plays a critical role in nutrient cycling. So these are some of the basic things about soils which you all know, but you should write these things in your notes because some basic elements should be in your mind, because many times what happens, we forget these things assuming that we all know these are the so basic things. So that is why you should know the basic things also. Whenever you should start with basics. Now let's see what are the components of soil. Components of soil. So when we see component of soil, let it be this soil. So here we will see that around 45% of the soil is inorganic material. 45% is inorganic material, and around only 5% we see organic material in the soil. This is organic material. 25% is soil water, and 25% is soil air. So these are the components of soil. When we see soil air, or you can say soil atmosphere, soil air or soil atmosphere. So when we see soil air or soil atmosphere, So its major function is that it helps in breathing and respiration of roots. Helps in breathing and respiration of roots, because our roots also respire. Okay, so when there will be not enough amount of soil atmosphere, the roots will not able to respire properly. Certainly we have soil outer water also. The major function of soil water is that it helps in nutrient uptake. Nutrient uptake. We have inorganic material also. This inorganic material is also known as regolith. Regolith, it is the major nutrient quotient of soil. Nutrient quotient of soil. That is, it has minerals, salts, all the nutrients of soil are these only. Minerals, salts. So we will see that the major nutrients are which are also known as macronutrients. So major macronutrients are N, P, K, calcium, magnesium, sulfur. So these are some of the major nutrients, or you can say macronutrients. We have also minor nutrients, just minor or micronutrients. So difference is that these major nutrients or macronutrients are needed by the plants in high amounts, and these micronutrients or minor nutrients are needed by plants in low amounts. For example of these minor nutrients are Fe, that is iron, manganese, molybdenum, we have zinc, we have copper, we have chlorine, we have cobalt. So these are some of the minor nutrients, or what we say is macronutrients. So next is organic material. So let's discuss the organic material in next page, because there is no space left. Organic material, or you can say organic matter. So it is generally composed of two things, that is litter plus humus. And the basic thing we should know about organic material, that it has carbon atoms, has carbon content, or you can say carbon atoms. C is carbon. Now what is litter? So litter is the fresh organic matter. Fresh organic matter, and as it is fresh, so its sources can be identifiable. Sources can be identifiable. That is, that sources can be identifiable. Its rate of decomposition is very fast. Rate of decomposition is very fast. So this was about litter. Now we have humus. So what is humus? As litter is fresh organic matter, humus is aged organic matter. Aged organic matter, that is old organic matter, and its sources can't be identified. It is very difficult to identify the sources of humus. Sources can't be identified because it has already decomposed a lot. The rate of decomposition of humus is very slow. Rate of decomposition is very slow. Very slow. It appears as black amorphous substance. Appears as black amorphous substance. These humus are also known as nutrient reservoirs. Nutrient reservoirs. And one thing you should know, that I hope you have written that carbon atom point. that this organic matter, when there is loss of carbon from this organic matter, loss of carbon from organic matter leads to the turn of this organic matter into inorganic matter. When there is loss of carbon from organic matter, it turns to inorganic matter, and this process is known as mineralization. So what is mineralization? That is the conversion of organic matter into organic matter due to the loss of carbon. So this is what mineralization is. So I hope you understand till now. अभी तक आपको सारी पॉइंट्स अच्छे समझ में आ गई होगी. So keep making notes, as I always say, because the notes is going to be very helpful to you. Now, so I hope you understand all the components of soil. You understand soil air, soil water. You understand about organic material, and you also understand about inorganic material and how organic matter transforms itself to inorganic material. That is mineralization. Now let's see about soil texture. Soil texture. So generally the soil is of different textures. So first of all, we can see sandy texture. It could be of sandy texture. Texture, that is, in sandy texture, the major features are permeability plus porosity. It could be of silty texture. That is, in silty texture, the major advantage is that it will have better nutrient uptake. That is silty texture, better nutrient take. And we have third one, that we have clay texture. That is better water holding capacity. And the combination of all these three textures in a perfect amount makes the formation of loamy soil. So what is loamy soil? That is when all the sandy and clay and silty texture are perfectly combined. They are formed at loamy texture. That is why this loamy soil is the most important soil for agriculture. Most of the crops and grow into these soils, and these soils are highly fertile. So I hope you understand the soil texture. So you can also write the definition of soil texture. It is the size and arrangement of grains in the soil. Size and arrangement of arrangement of grains in soil. And I hope you understand the advantages. Sandy texture is known for its permeability and porosity. Silty texture is known for its better nutrient uptake, and clay texture is known for its better water holding capacity. And a perfectly combined textures of all sandy, clay, and silty makes loamy soils, which are very important and very fertile for agricultural production. So I hope you understand this. Now let's move to soils of India. Soils of India. So let's first make a map and try to understand the different soils of India. Not the perfect map, but I'm trying to make it. I hope this is understandable to you. So this is a rough sketch of our Indian map. So what you will find in the top, in this region, and in these northeast regions you will find mountainous soil. The mountain soil. Here in the Gangetic plains, what you will find? You will find alluvial soil. It's major Gangetic plains, the Assam plains also. What you will find? You will find alluvial soils. These are alluvial soils. Alluvial soils. This is also in Sikkim. You will also find mountainous soil. Then here you will find sandy soil in the Marusthali region, that is where Thar desert is present. Here what you will find? These are sandy soils. Also in some parts of Rajasthan, Kutch region, you will find here only sandy soils. So these are the sandy soils. Now you will also find black soils in some portions. So in these regions, the Deccan Plateau region, and here in some parts of Gujarat, you will find black soil. Black soil. And here in the major remaining areas, you will find red soils. These are red soils. Red soils. Some alluvial soils you will able to find in the coastal region also, in these regions also, Krishna Tungabhadra basin. So you will find here some alluvial soils. These are red and yellow soils. Red and yellow soils. Sandy soils, or you can also write here saline soil. Some areas in these regions you will also find saline soil. Now, in some places you will also find laterite soils, and these laterite soils you will generally found in these areas of high rainfall. These areas and some of these areas, the soil which you will find in these areas are laterite soils where there is high rainfall. Okay, so these are the major soils which you can find in in our country. Okay, so I hope you understand. And this was a rough diagrammatical representation of the soil to make you understand better. Now let's discuss all the soils in detail. So first of all, let's discuss about alluvial soils. The most important soils, that is alluvial soils. Alluvial soils. So these are known as ex situ soils. Ex situ means offside. That is, these soils are not present classically on that soils. These are brought by the rivers. Okay, because these are brought down and deposited by the rivers, these are known as ex situ soils. That is brought down by rivers. It is not present on that place. It is brought down by the rivers. It covers around 40% of geographical area. Over 40% of geographical area of India. It is fertile soil, fertile but lacks NNP, that is nitrogen and phosphorus, but lacks nitrogen and phosphorus. And one thing you should know, that almost all Indian soils lack nitrogen and phosphorus. Almost all Indian soils lack. And Indian soils are generally good in potassium. That is why whenever we use fertilizers only in mass, suppose 4:2:1, this is the example of use of NPK. So you will see that the amount of potassium which we use is lower as compared to nitrogen and phosphorus, because Indian soils are generally richer in potassium as compared to nitrogen and phosphorus, and there is almost deficit in nitrogen and phosphorus in almost all Indian soils. So please do keep this in mind. It is found in Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra plains. Indo-Gangetic Brahmaputra plains. In coastal plains, as I have mentioned here also, you can say in coastal plains also you will find these soils. And there it is known as coastal alluvium. Coastal alluvium. So this was about alluvial soils. Now let's move to the second soil, that is red and yellow soils. Red and yellow soils. So these soils we will generally found these in peninsular plateaus. Peninsular plateau. The color of these soils are red due to diffusion of iron from igneous rocks. Red due to diffusion of iron from igneous rocks. The hydrate form of red soil is known as yellow soil. Yellow soil is nothing but hydrate form of red soil. Hydrate form of red soil is yellow soil. Okay. So what yellow soil is? Nothing but the hydrate forms of this red soil only. And generally it is found in moist areas. Area. You can find these yellow soils in Meghalaya and Tripura also. Meghalaya and Tripura regions, you will be able to find the yellow soils. These red and yellow soils are fine textured, relatively fertile. Fine textured, relatively fertile soils. Relatively fertile soils. Why relatively fertile? Because generally they are non-fertile. Okay, relatively fertile, but generally infertile. Sorry, but generally infertile. It comprises 18% of the area of our country, 18% of area, and it is poor in all N, P, and K. Poor in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So this is about red and yellow soils. Now let's move to the another important soil, and a lot of questions have been asked from these soils, that is black soil. Black soil. So this black soil we generally know is cotton growing soil. Cotton growing, and it comprises 15% of area of country. 15% of area. It is formed by weathering of flood basaltic lava. Formed by weathering of flood basaltic lava. So what happens when there is eruption? There was eruption when Indian plate moved over the reunion hotspot. You can see as the Indian plate was moving. This is the Indian plate, and this was moving. Then through the reunion hotspots to merge to this Eurasian plate, and here merger Himalayas were created. So when it was moving through this reunion hotspot, there was eruption. When there was eruption, when Indian plate moved over reunion hotspot. Reunion hotspot, and this happened in Cretaceous Cretaceous period. Cretaceous period, that is around 120 million years ago, and this led to the formation of the Deccan Trap region. Deccan Trap region, and that is why you will find the black soil in this region only. Its color is black because of ferrous magnetite. Many times people confuse that the color is black because of rich in humus, because the color of humus is also black, but it is not the truth. Not because of rich in humus. Black color is not because of rich in humus, but it is rich in ferrous magnetite. But it is rich in ferrous magnetite. Okay. It is generally clay soil. The content of clay is more in black soil. That is why you will see that the black soil has high water holding capacity. And when the water is absorbed, or when the water is dried up, it leads to big cracks. And that is why the feature of self flowing is associated with this soil. Self flowing. That is cracks and swells. Okay. So when water is high, it swells, and when water is deficient, it cracks. That is what self-flowing. And you should know that these soils are only known as regur soils. These have been asked in various times in the exams. These are only known as regur soils. So this was about black soils. Now let's move to the next soil, that is laterite soil. Right? Soil. So these are generally found in hilly areas with high rainfall followed by high temperature. High rainfall followed by high temperature. And this climate favors laterization. Such climate favors laterization. So what laterization is? So during high rainfall, the lime and silica is leached to the bottom of lime and silica is leached to the bottom of leached to the bottom of soil, and during high temperature, iron and alumina are brought. Iron and alumina are brought to the top layers of soil. Are brought to top layers of soil to top layers of soil through capillary action. So what is this laterization process? What happens during high rainfall? The silica and lime is leached to the bottom layers, and during high temperature, iron and alumina are brought to the top layers of soil because through capillary action. So this is what laterization is. You will find that in these soils you will find iron and bauxite mining because of the movement of iron and alumina towards top of soil. Iron and bauxite mining. Bauxite is the ore of aluminium only. Okay. For example, you can find this in northeastern region, that is, and you will find it is Kudermukh in northeastern India, and Kudermukh. This Kudermukh is in South India. In South India, in Western Ghat regions. These soils, this is the continuation of laterite soil only. So these soils are also very much useful in brick making. In fact, the laterite, when The laterite is come from the word later only, which means brick. Okay, that is why they are also known as brick soils, because they are very much important for brick making. These are generally infertile soils. Infertile, as the most of the minerals due to high rainfall they are leached away. But it, plantation agriculture can be done in these soils. Plantation agriculture can be done suitable with proper inputs and amendments. And you can see the plantation agriculture in Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, Meghalaya. Okay, so this is about laterite soil. And one soil you should write in note, that is about peaty soil. Okay, peaty soil, because questions have been asked through it. Peaty soils. So these peaty soils contain 45% of organic matter. We have finished the laterite soil here only. This is all peaty soils. It is black in color, and they are generally found in edges of swamps and lakes. Edges of swamps and lakes. So you should know it. Okay, about peaty soils. This was about peaty soils. Now let's move to the next type of soil, that is mountain soil. Mountain soil. So these mountain soils are infertile, they are immature, and this is because of constant soil creeping. Because of constant soil creeping, and these soils do not settle at a place to get matured. Okay, and these soils are not for agriculture. Not for agriculture. However, forest vegetation can grow due to its deep roots. Forest vegetation can grow in these soils. Can grow in these soils due to its deep roots. So these were about mountain soils. Now let's move to the last soil, that is saline soil. So these soils are generally found in run of Kutch and Marusthali region. Kutch and Marusthali region. Region. These are very fertile as it is rich in salts. Very fertile as it is rich in minerals and salts. Rich in salts. But agriculture can't be practiced due to water scarcity. But agriculture can't be practiced due to water scarcity, because these regions are very lack in water. These are also known as Usara, and this has been asked previously in exams, so you should know it. Many times in various exams it has been asked. And the patches of calcium can be found in these soils. Patches of calcium, which is known as kankar. So you should know it. So one thing you should know about soil salinization. This is saline soil, about saline soils. Now how is soil salinization? What is soil salinization? So it is degradation of soil. Okay, it is different from saline soil. This soil salinization means degradation of soil, and you will find only not sodium salts there. In saline soils, you will find different types of salts which are good for agriculture. So do not get confused with saline soils and soil salinization. In soil salinization, it is a kind of degradation. You will find only sodium. It is not saline soil. Not saline soil. So you should know this difference. It is very important. Okay, because many times you will confuse it. In soil salinization, there is not proper fertility. But in saline soils, due to rich in various salts, there is fertility. Although agriculture is not practiced due to water scarcity. So this was about soils of India. I hope you like the video, you understand all the concepts, and please do keep making notes because making these notes will be very helpful to you. अगर आप ऐसे notes बनाते रहोगे तो it is going to be very helpful to you in your preparation for your revision, because whenever you will keep revising your notes, all the things will be in your mind nicely. So please do like, if you like it, please do share the video, and please do subscribe it. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis वैसे वीडियोस आपसे प्ले बनाने के लिए काफ़ी हार्ड वर्क लगता है, और अगर आप लाइक शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करते हो तो काफ़ी मोटिवेशन मिलता है हमें कि हम और भी ऐसे वीडियोज रेगुलरली आप सबके लिए बना पाए. सो दैट इज ऑल फॉर टुडे. हैव ए नाइस डे. थैंक यू.